This is the interior plumbing and appliances video. We're starting with the primary bedroom suite bathroom. The fan switch is over here. That's really not plumbing, it's electrical. Lights over there, okay? So usually the orientation is that the light switch is closest to the door and the fan is farther away. Hot and cold are reversed here. Okay, we have GFCI for this. However, the breaker in the garage is loose, but it's supposed to be labeled GFCI. So if we come over here, hot's on the right, cold's on the left. That's backwards. We're also missing our escutcheon plates on our water supply and our water drain. So the shape of the floor right in there, so that's kind of rough. The escutcheon plates. See around the commode with the water, that's an escutcheon plate. So we're missing our 3 escutcheon plates, and the floors under kitchen and both the lavatories pretty rough, I gotta say. Everything that's supposed to go down goes down. Hi, Timmy. Okay. Shower door closes. Does it? Does it really close? Okay. I guess it does. I don't know what that rod is. Hot's on the left, cold's on the right. This orientation is fine. This orientation is reversed. This fan vents directly into the attic. Okay, they're supposed to vent to the exterior, but they don't. Neither of the bathroom vent fans vent to the exterior. Coming along here, when this countertop, okay, if it extends more than 10 inches, it should have a corbel underneath it. It's like a little brace, and it doesn't. If somebody sits up on here, the idea is don't dance on this. Don't have some, your Uncle Bud, all liquored up for Super Bowl, sits on the thing and it breaks. Oh, everybody's watching the game and everybody laughs. It's pretty funny, and then, maybe somebody gets stitches. It's not so funny. Homeowners insurance is not so funny. When you find out how much it costs to replace that, it won't be so funny. Okay. Moving on along. We're in the kitchen, the big K. Alright. This oven's sitting out because it's not hooked up. We do not have an anti-tip device. The gas is not in use. Okay. So gas not in use should be capped off. I would normally harp about the hole in the wall. I guess we still could. But we don't really have fire blocking or drafting going to the attic, so it's not as big a sin. I mean, it's just ugly as sin. Okay. Gas piping not in use should be capped off. Oh, and look at there. There is an anti-tip device, a little metal thing sticking out. How about that? So anyway, you can tell by the way this cord's just laying on the ground here. All right, we don't have any power going to the oven. Oven doesn't work today. There's no power going to this electric receptacle outlet. The refrigerator doesn't work today. No refrigerator. I don't inspect refrigerators, but by the way, this one doesn't work. This dishwasher, it doesn't work. What do you mean? Oh, I mean, it'll come on. Okay, but it doesn't have a control switch. It's not GFCI protected. I get it. But the operation, the water's been turned off to this thing. Water was turned off for a reason. And it's loose in the cabinet. Okay? It's all, it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. Okay, over here, well, let's just keep going with the dishwasher. There's some more of that floor. Hillbilly home inspection. Now see this little plate right here? That is typical, that's indicative of pest control operators doing a subterranean, or it could be ants at this point. It's not the same thing as holes on the driveway. It's not the same thing as holes on the porch or whatever. So that could have been ants, we don't know. It's treated for something. Probably treated for subterranean termites. We got 3/4 horsepower food waste disposal. This silver thing back here, that's the drain line. No, that's the water supply line going to the dishwasher. This white hose right here, that's the drain line coming from the dishwasher. It comes up and it sticks on the bottom It comes all the way to the top. That creates what's known as an anti-siphon loop. You don't have one of those fancy little air vacuums up here, but it's not required. This is the minimum requirement. We have met the minimum. Yay, everybody, we met the minimum. All right, 3/4 horsepower. That's my notice here. We did that. Let's run some water. I haven't done this sink yet, so why not? Come across here, vegetable sprayer. Working pretty good. This receptacle outlet does not work. This receptacle outlet does not work. This receptacle outlet works and it does not have a GFCI. I don't know if this one works or not. Caught me. You get to see my method. It does work. Okay. This receptacle outlet does work. Any outlet in the kitchen should be GFCI, not GFCI protected. Alright. Let there be light. And the disposal's not working. Why aren't you working? Okay, so our 3/4 horsepower food waste disposal does not work. Okay. This window, good luck you working this window. Okay, that's the only screen present. I have to change my numbers. Get rid of that shed. Okay, now this is supposed to cascade down like this. All right, when it comes around like this, that's called a foul line. F-O-U-L. That's how Hillbilly Home Inspection says it. Foul line. This is where all the germs and the bacteria and the cooties and the viruses hide. And you know, your realtor will say, just put a little bleach under there. And that's what everybody tells everybody. I've heard it. And I have yet to have a client, I would never dissuade my client from seeking perfection. But I've yet to have a client call me up and say, hey bud, thanks for that foul line. Thanks for catching that, bud. You did me a solid. This is not going to happen. I mean, I hope it does happen. If it happens, I've yet to have a client call me. Maybe I've got abandonment issues. If you get that thing fixed, call me up and say, hey bud, thanks for that foul line thing. Because it hasn't happened yet. But it is. That's a code, and that's wrong. That's wrong. It's supposed to cascade down like that. Our food waste disposal is supposed to work. Our 3/4 horsepower food waste disposal is supposed to work. I was coming down here for a good reason. Oh, underneath the food waste disposal, see all that tape underneath there? Okay, you're supposed to have a real honest to goodness connector. You're not supposed to be all jacked up like that. You say jacked up on the inspection report? I will not say that it was jacked up on your inspection report. It's very unprofessional language. I will choose better words. This is my first pass. You're seeing the house with me. You're seeing it with my enthusiasm. I'm trying to stay engaged. So, sometimes I even call things the wrong names. But, this is where it's at. You got a foul line. You've got a food waste disposal that won't respond. You've got improper electric connections on the food waste disposal. Now, when this home was a baby in the builder's belly, okay? When this home was a baby in the builder's belly, they didn't have a countertop, a splashback reveal party. They didn't know what was going to go on. They didn't, bust the balloon and let the pigeons out and stuff. All these receptacles, these switches, when they were built, when the house was just sticks, a baby, okay? The electrician came in and he brought all the mounting boxes, all the junction boxes out, so the drywall could be installed around them, and then the plates would fit on fine. And that's the way they were built. And then we came in, we put this nice beautiful splash back here, and this raised it out, and now we've got a gap. Look at that. Now we've got a gap. Look at that. Look at that gap. Okay? And so the regular screws wouldn't fit anymore, so they put drywall screws in there. Like, that's going to help anything. Drywall screws, they're honey badgers. They do whatever they want, man. They can get in there and they'll chew all the insulation off of the wires is what those things will do. And then the rings, okay, they're called extender rings. I heard a code inspector last year now call it a fire suppression ring. A spark suppression ring is what he called it. And he sounded pretty smart, like he knew what he was talking about. but I've always known them as extenders. And tradespeople will call them goof rings because that's probably what they think about them. And they cost about $3. They cost about $3. And you put those in there, and you wouldn't have to use the drywall screws, and it'd all be sealed up, and it'd be safe. How about that? And like I said, they're going to charge, $3, $6, $9, $12. They're going to charge you more. They're going to charge you sales tax or something. They're going to get you. But like for $20, it could have been done right. That's what I'm saying. Is like, for just a few dollars, could have been done right. We have a whole video. You've already seen it. If you're seeing these in order, you already saw the fireplace video. And so then we just moving on along here. And we keep going. Let's go into the laundry. I do not know where this vent goes. It does not go through the attic. It stops in the attic somewhere. 3-prong electric clothes dryer. We got power there. You got gas stubbed out. It's assuming this, unfortunately, this vents directly. Did I got this thing locked? This vents directly into the garage. What's that about? Is that some, free heat? What a clothes dryer does is it takes all the water that's in your clothes and it dries them. It takes the water out. Where's it going to put all the water? In your garage? Or if you go to this one, is it going to go into the attic? So this leaves a little bit to be desired. Now once you hook this up, you're probably not going to have an issue with it. Alright? I don't. But this is supposed to be red and this is supposed to be blue. It's supposed to be labeled hot and cold, and they're not. This is supposed to be GFCI protected. Alright? This is supposed to be GFCI protected. Oh, but this house is built in the 1984s. I get it. It was. It's not fair. But at the same time, that's a safety device. So a lot of things that, like, the glass in the windows, safety devices. Safety is important. So that makes the report. So you got 3-prong, safety. Moving on along. Yeah. And then this is the hall bathroom. And this commode is closer, the center of this drain is closer to the bathtub than 15 inches. So it's a little close over here. It's a little tight. Alright. Hot's on the left, cold's on the right. Hot's on the left, cold's on the right. Fan, okay. It's the middle one, but it's not the closest one. So we got that. We got a loose handle right here. And the floor looks like it's supposed, pretty rough, all 3 of them. And then we have our escutcheon plates. They are present there, so this is a good thing. Everybody likes a good thing.